recently, or not so recently, I streamed The Sims 4 and I made a vet clinic. I challenged myself to do a limited pack build so it'd be more downloadable. This build only uses the base game and cats and dogs so that it's easier to download for everyone. I mean, that's kind of it though. That's the intro. Let's get into it. Alright, gotta be honest, haven't seen this footage in about 8 months, but I feel like I remember where I was going. So I started out with that front room is gonna be the check-in space. I don't think I pre-drew it. Sometimes I do, occasionally, but I definitely knew that I wanted a hallway down the center, exam rooms on the sides, and like an entryway and a room in the back for just the vets to use for all those extra things that they do besides just the examinations of the pets. And as we go through, you'll see how that kind of shapes up. Oh, the roofs. Oh no. Okay, so I think I do this honestly pretty well. There's, dimension to the roof. I've used different styles. They're all lining, well, they will all line up in a moment. There we go, they're lining up. And then I tried to do that, yep, and this, and it's just not it, and I'm pretty sure that goes away. Yeah, there's too many things going on now. At least some of that big one, that's gotta go. Yep, delete. Now we gotta get the front ready to go. I think this is where I decide that instead of being flat on the ground, it should be up on a little bit of a foundation. There we go. There we go. We're working through it. I think it just looks a little lost without the foundation, so I'm really glad I went with the foundation with the little front porch. So besides putting this on the gallery, I actually built it for a bit of a legacy family I have, and then funnily enough, I decided, nope, I'm not going to use it at all. I haven't actually used this build in any of my games, but I think the next time I do have a vet sim, then I'll probably use it. We're going to get into some windows. It's supposed to look like a house converted into a vet office. When you go into the layout of the rooms, that doesn't really make sense, but at least the outside definitely looks like that. And then there's a cute little back porch because it's going to go out to like the area where it doesn't work like that in The Sims. They don't actually kennel dogs here, but if you were to kennel your dog here, they have like the walking area in the back for when they're staying there overnight, and they have a space to walk the dogs. It's all very cute little starter home, except it's a vet clinic. Okay, this is where I decided, no, I should limit it, and we should stick to only the cats and dogs and like the My First Pet stuff. This was one of my first builds that I did that I knew I was putting on the gallery, versus a lot of times I'll build something and I'll say, oh, it's kind of cute, I'll put it on the gallery, but then I don't actually think about the packs I'm using, and I've just used whatever I wanted to. I decided to actually limit this pack, or this build, so that's where I finally decided, oh, I should just limit it and make sure that I'm only using cats and dogs and base game. Just going through and picking the doors, I decided to go with a theme for each room. They're not perfect. I probably should have gone back and changed them to be more specific towards the actual vet items that are in there and what colors were available in the vet swatches. And I kind of picked it ahead of time and then realized it kind of worked, and so I went with it, but it still works enough. The plants to the front and the sides are really cute. I don't think I did, nope, they didn't go on the sides, just the front. That's still cute. Then I added these little roofs. I don't really use those ever. And then I had to match the roof to that little roof, and it worked out pretty well, but I've never used those before in a build, and I thought it was really cute. I was trying to push myself just a little bit. Since I built this, I've built a couple other things for the gallery, and I've been really enjoying trying to limit my packs and think of things that people might be interested in using when new packs come out, if I happen to get that pack. But this definitely was the first one where I was like thinking about how other people would use it and not just me. Okay, doing the math, it's 2025. I think I started playing The Sims soon after the 2004, I think, release of Sims 2. So that means I've probably been playing this game for 20 years. Not this game in particular, just the Sims franchise. But I've been playing The Sims 4 since like months after it came out. I think I got it for Christmas that year. And I've been a pretty avid pack enjoyer the whole time through. It is a wild experience now that I'm not getting them only at birthdays and Christmases, that, those price tags are something, and I definitely don't get all of them, but I pick through the sales that happen like every 2-3 months, and I wait for the sales, and then I kind of get one or two depending on what has come out recently and what's on sale. I'll often get things a year after they come out. And so it looks like I might have a lot of packs, and I do, but it's been years of accumulating and a lot of sales. I don't like thinking about the fact that I've played this video game for 20 years. Prioritize putting in all of the specific vet items that you needed for it to run. And then after that, I started going back in with all the little accessories. I tried to kind of match things to the color of the room, especially since there's that blue swatch and pink swatch of the vet items. And then I was just going around because it kind of looked a little empty on some of the walls. I really got a lot of use out of those x-rays for this build. There wasn't a ton when you actually narrow it down to cats and dogs in base game only. Was not a ton of things you could do to make it look like a vet clinic. They only have like a couple posters with a couple swatches and then those x-rays. And most of the x-rays, it was either a cat or a dog and then a different border around it. Try to put different posters in each of the rooms so that wasn't too repetitive, but it is a pretty basic repetitive process. And this is where I mess up, and I do not have the filter on, and I put those chairs in and they are not cats and dogs. So if you do download this and you don't have Dream Home Decorator, I'm sorry. There's just random chairs for the owner of the pet in each room, and they are not cats and dogs or base game. It's the only thing I messed up on. So for my first limited pack build, not too bad. I don't know if I go back and change the red walls to pink. If I don't, whoops. And then here you see I'm doing a little office just for the staff. And now that I'm thinking about it, with the new businesses and hobbies pack, I wonder if people also have that pack, you'd be able to actually limit this to just the staff of the vet clinic, even though it's a vet clinic and not a business or hobby. I think you can. I'm actually really interested to go back and try that now. Because I am a little, like, I was building it and I was like, this is just going to be all the people waiting are going to use it. It's for the idea of the pack rather than, or the idea of the build rather than the actual use of the build. They're pretty busy when you're actually playing with a vet clinic. They don't have time to sit at the computer. But realistically, as an owner of a business, you would need a computer to get your stuff done. Looking at this now, I'm actually pretty proud of how tight I kept the whole build because thinking back to the fact that I've been playing this game or this franchise for 20 years, those first houses, I was for sure guilty of the giant lot-sized house that had just so much space to do nothing with because there wasn't enough to even fill it. A lot of my more recent builds, I've really been trying to keep things tight and make sure that it looks realistic and it's usable, but it's not oversized. Some of the other builds I've done recently, which I guess I have streams of most of them, so I could edit as well if anyone's interested, but they're all in the gallery. I did an empty apartment building for the For Rent pack. I did an eco lifestyle build. That was picked on a spin wheel. I really didn't know what I wanted to do next. I just kind of like having these challenges where I build something based on a requirement either of the Sims need or of what people might need out of it. So if you have any ideas, I've been thinking about doing a basement only build. I've been seeing a lot of TikToks of like millionaire bunkers. I thought it'd be kind of fun to do that in The Sims. Maybe like do a smaller house, but then this giant bunker. So now we're going to the outside, I believe, and this is where we're going to start doing that little backyard or behind the building little course for dogs, for dog training, and then we had a little scratching post so that the cats are taken care of too. Landscaping is always the last thing I do in a build, and sometimes it's the hardest because I don't know where I want to block things off, and sometimes those trees can get so annoying in The Sims 4. They can block what you're doing when you're playing it, so hopefully they're not in too bad of a spot. I haven't actually played with this build yet. I did test it with a sim and you can get to everything in the build okay, although it doesn't really look like anything would be blocked. Oh, the path. I tried to do, or I decided to do, some sort of drawn path, and that always takes me a moment. I added a little dirt around where the dogs would kind of be frequently jumping. I think it adds a little bit of realism. Okay, trees, I'm probably going to decide on a tree pretty slowly. Okay, we've got a big one in the back. Yep, love a big tree in the back. And then some of those trees, it's so hard to tell until you have picked it up what size it is. Doesn't matter how many times I've placed it or not placed it, I do not remember, and I have to re-pick them up every single time. And I love to put just a little sprinkling of dirt right under the tree, make it a little bit realistic. I love to also put a little, that grass with the flowers, one of my favorites, put under a tree, or just any type of little bush or something to kind of make it more of a moment than just a random tree in the yard. Now we have to have some bushes for the cats and the dogs to go pee in, you know? What am I looking for? Oh, I put a little cat carrier. Oh, that's cute. Okay. I see. Oh, I moved it. Never mind. No cat carrier. Oh, twisting everything around. Put back in the chairs that I should not put in. Those should not be there. Oh, love a Roomba. Much needed. I loved that addition to the cats and dogs pack. I don't know why the dog bowl is in the office, but I mean, I think I was just trying to fill some space. Okay, I'm gonna let the tour speak for itself, so enjoy. If you're looking for this build or any others that I've done, I've put my EA username in my description below. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you next time! Okay, perfect. We're done. Robot who does the Sims. That's me.